Well, good morning, my stitchy friends. How is everybody this morning? You have found the NeedleBugg. My name is Karen, and today we're here for a bit of a stitch with me. What I'm working on today is God Shed His Grace, and I'm working on the version by Artisy Designs. Yeah. Really loving this. It's hard to put down. But I know, first of all, let me say, for all the new subscribers, welcome. I am so glad you have found us and that you have checked out the channel, and hopefully you find things here that you like and you enjoy, and you will keep coming back to visit with me. And many thanks, and many heartfelt thanks to all the subscribers who have been with me, whether you're relatively new or whether you have been here for a long time. Thank you so much for coming back and joining in each video. Love goes out to each and every one of you. So thank you for that. So today we're going to do a stitch with me. Today, I'm working on God Shed His Grace. And I know you guys that have been here a while are looking at this and going, what the heck is she doing now? I know. Okay, that being said, you guys know you would not expect anything less. You always will find, most of the time, that Karen's doing something different every time she does a video. It just kind of works out that way. But here's my my convoluted logic. My convoluted logic is, you all know I have this love-hate relationship with barking. I mean, that's a given, and we've known that for a long time now. Karen parks, oh yeah, this is the way I'm going to stitch. Then, oh no, not barking, not going to be happening. Gets on my last nerve. So we change it. We do diagonal sometimes. We do, you name it. And it changes from week to week to week to week. Always something different. Well, here's the logic. I have been wanting to, again, try, and I did do a little bit extreme cross country, where you just pick your color in whatever form, manner, way, whatever way you decide to pick whatever color you are going to use, whether it be the color with the most stitches, whether it be the color with the least stitches, whether it be the color somewhere in between. Well, I thought, charts I've tried this on before have had, I like to get a decent base to have points of reference, is what my head thinks it should do. And charts in the past that I've wanted to do that on have been the color that I would pick to stitch would have 20, 30, 40,000 stitches. And then you get so bloomin' bored that, oh my God, I can't do this color anymore. So when I look at this chart, Now, this is God Shed His Grace by Artisy Designs. And when I looked at this chart, even the color with the most stitches, which is this black, was under 10,000 stitches. So then my eyes perked up. Oh, under 10,000 stitches. Oh, well, that's really, okay, it had 7,000 and something. Oh, well, that's less than a page. It's less than a page of black. That could be quite doable without getting sick of the color. So then I went back to Pattern Keeper. Okay, I waffled between Pattern Keeper and markup. Okay, that's just how I roll too. So I put it in the app, and then I looked at the whole chart and went, let's see if I can show you that here. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so I went like this. Okay, now we got it. Sorry, I had to just fix what was going wrong. So anyway, what I did was I went like this. If you can guys still see this. And I saw, oh, those 7,000 stitches of black are all in the lower half. Okay, well, let's make this a little bigger so that you can see it. Okay, so most of those are in the lower half. So I thought, okay, that's all right, because that's a good chunk. And then I looked at the next most stitches, and look at that, they're all in the upper half. Cool, I said, that's awesome. So if I stitch all of the black and then all of the 414, that should give me a decent amount of places, things, areas to work off of. Let's go back to 310. Here we go. There we go. So that I can do a color completion as opposed to working in blocks or whatever. So I thought, okay, this might be a good project to try extreme cross country again. So here we go, folks. That's exactly what we're going to do. But I thought, you know what? This is a big project. Don't get me wrong. And it's going to take probably a year or better to complete. But it's not an overwhelmingly huge project. I think even the medium-sized ones by Artisy are not as big as the patterns by Heaven and Earth. They're all beautiful, don't get me wrong. As I said before, I'm just really looking at size of the project and ability to hopefully have some finishes. And I talked my last video and compared the one from Artisy to the Heaven and Earth one. And really, either one is quite satisfying. Yes, the Artisy one is a bit more pixelated when you're up close and personal working on it. However, are you really going to notice that when it's on the wall? Because you're not going to stand and look at it with your nose right up against it. You're going to be looking at it from a distance. So with that, Karen decided to give Extreme Cross Country another shot. You know me, guys. What can I say? It's called Keep It Interest. Oh, now what did I do? It's called Keep It Interesting. Okay, I'm trying. One of the reasons I switched back to Pattern Keeper is because I could show you what I'm going to stitch by highlighting it so that you can see, okay, there's the purple. Those are the ones she's stitching. And then mark them off so you know where I am and what I'm seeing. And hopefully that's showing up on the screen. You know what? And when it comes to Pattern Keeper or markup, I like them both equally well. Equally well. Each one has their own things that are unique to that specific one. But I would, in all honesty, be hard pressed to pick one over the other. I do. I like them. I like each one as well as the other. You know, markup gives you the statistics, but I mean, in essence, so does Pattern Keeper. It just doesn't give you quite as much. Markup, you can see back from the time you started the project what your stitch counts were every day. Pattern Keeper, well, the information's there, you just have to do a little bit more work to get it, and that is changing the clock on your tablet. So what I've learned is to write that stuff down every day. You know, keep a logbook of what your stitch counts were every day. Now, speaking of stitch count, I want to tell you, when you're just stitching one color, you can get a lot of stitches done in a day. You certainly can, especially when it's, I started out with having a little bit over 7,000 stitches of black to do. Of black to do. I think I've been working on this this might be day 5. I have to look, because I did start in markup, and I think I had 4 days worth in markup, and then I switched it over here to Pattern Keeper for today. So I kind of sort of think this is day 5. And I'm already down to 6,462 left of black. Really? That's not bad. We can do that before we get sick of the color. I think that's quite doable. And when I switch to the 414, it's 6,800. Well, that's still less. That's less than a page when you think about it. So yeah, doable. Then what my plan is to get these big chunks of color in so that I have reference points. For the most part, it won't give me reference points for everything, but it will give me reference points for the most part. So then what I will do is I will switch and do from the least amount of stitches per color and work my way back up to the most. My logic for that is, if I save those least amount of stitches for last, it's going to be like hunting a needle in a haystack. That ain't going to work very well. So if I do the most, and that gives me reference points, and then I start with the least amount of stitches and work back up to the most amount of stitches, I shouldn't have as much trouble finding those stitches that are the least. Now, that's okay. Okay, I always get a little confused with it. Okay, so my least amount of stitches, and that's also a cool part of this, is 35. Then it jumps to 72, and you can probably see that on the screen. And then already I'm up into the more than 100 stitches of a color. And yeah, it gradually works up till when I'm about halfway through the colors. If it's even takes to halfway, I'm having larger amounts of a color, so I'm not having to hunt for just one stitch or 3 stitches of a certain color. They might not all be together, but I still have chunks of color. So yeah, I thought, okay, this might be a good one to try this on. And I've seen a couple people who have stitched this way, and I think it's just really cool to see how that picture comes together when it's done by color completion. It's I don't know, it's different, and it's kind of neat. You know, it's also neat to see when you stitch on the diagonal how everything just comes together as you complete each diagonal. That's neat too, and you don't have to go back and fill in anything. But I found this way just as interesting. that it sparks my interest to say, I wonder if that's something I would like. Now, again, as with any of these designs, whether it be Heaven and Earth, whether it be Artisy, whether it be Cross Stitch Collectibles, whether it be Cross Stitch Studio, or whatever, I think every chart lends its way to a particular type of stitching. And it's a matter of determining what method is going to work for you when you're stitching that particular chart. Some charts, like this one, I think, oh wow, for me, this could just be the ideal chart for extreme cross country. For somebody else, maybe not. But for me, it is. For me, some charts just don't do well with parking. And then there are people that they only ever park, and that's fine. No matter what the chart says, that's how they're going to stitch it. And that is perfectly okay, because remember, there's no right way and there's no wrong way. It's whatever works for you. But as we know, Karen likes to jump around and do different things. It is the story of her life. And let's be true. Let's be real. It keeps you guys interested and you keep coming back just to see what I'm going to do that day. Did she change her mind? Did she do something different? Oh, yeah, she said that this is going to be her. She's going to stitch everything this way. She's never going back to this, that, or the other thing again. And then you come back to the next time, and guess what? I'm doing exactly what I said I wasn't going to do. So you will never, technique-wise, you will never get bored here, because it will probably always be switching to something else. Okay, now we got to flip around here. I'm on my Patoki stand today, or my mini Patoki stand today. Pardon me. Speaking of Patoki stands, I don't know, did I tell you folks? Okay, you can't see what I'm doing here as far as ending this thread. But you know how you have them little, in the weave of the fabric, these little ones that go horizontal and little ones that go vertical? Well, I'm going under a couple of vertical ones like that. I'm going to pull my needle through like that. And then I'm going to clip it off. And then that will get stitched over. And now we'll go back. Okay. Now, you guys all remember, or those of you who have been around a while, will probably remember that my Patoki floor stand, the head that you put your hoop onto, was so loose that I had to hold it in place in order to stitch. And after, quite a few back and forth emails, I finally sent it back, or Patoki finally said, send it back and we will upgrade it for you so that you have a way to tighten it if and when it comes loose again. and not go through this again. So it took 3 weeks to get there. So they have it. I am now in, I think, the 4th week of them having it. Yeah, because they got it on the 20th of April, and we're just about at the 20th of May. So they've had it the best part of, well, they've had it going on 4 weeks. But I did hear from them, and this is a new way of starting on the front for me, guys, too. They needed some measurements off of the parts that I have here in order to complete the upgrade. And I'm hoping that maybe this week it will get shipped back to me. I'm hoping. So we shall see. We shall see. But I am pleased that they were willing to make it right. I mean, seriously, because for what you pay for that stand, you don't want it to be something that is not usable. And if I had to hold the hoop to keep it in the right position with one hand while I stitch with the other hand, well, then I might as well not have had a stand, because I was defeating the purpose. So hopefully it will be on its way back to me soon. I honestly didn't expect that it would take quite this long, but it is, and they're not charging me for it, so I can't really complain. So we'll see. We'll see how it, I'll keep you updated on when it gets back and how it's working and all of that good stuff. Now, my husband will shoot me, but okay, the infamous butt word. But my friend Barb and I were having a gander at the dubco stands. So my question to all of you guys is, do any of you use a dubco stand? And what do you think of it? How do you like it? Now, since I bought the Nerd scroll frame, because a lot of people, and I bought that because quite a few people asked me about it, and I wanted to be able to give an honest opinion, and I can't give an honest opinion on something if I don't have it myself. So I got one, and I really rather like it just as well as a quantum frame. So as long words I'm thinking that I would use it as long as I had something where I could get it positioned in a position that is comfortable. You know, I had it here on I had it attached to my table with clamps, and I had it in a position that was really quite nice to stitch. Oh, can't thread this. Except the fact that I had to sit in this desk chair, and to sit in this for long periods of time just doesn't bode well with my back. So my friend Barb, all your fault, Barb, she started looking at the Dubco stands. She tried my Patoki, but she just wasn't sold on that. So she started looking at the Dubco stand, and one of the drawbacks of that stand is that to get to the other side, you had to flip it up instead of like this where you flip over. Okay, but now Dubco made another part that you can flip it this way instead of this way. So that was a sell. That was a, I think that might be a good thing. Well, then their table model also has arms that you could lay a scroll frame on. How big? How big a scroll frame? So we started looking at that. And then I saw they have a sofa stand that you could sit in your recliner or on the sofa. And this would, instead of being on your lap, it's, it's higher and you could stitch that way. So of course, I started looking at those, and that has the arms that come out that you can just lay your scroll frame on. So, husband will kill me if I order another stand in already my menagerie of stands. But it may not be out of the question. But before I do that, I would love to know if any of you have used their stands and what you think of their stands. Price-wise, I think they were pretty close to each other. I mean, I will tell you, my Patoki floor stand, I paid all but $1,000 for. Which is the reason that if I can't use that at all, is quite upsetting. And I do like that. When stitching with a hoop, I do like that stand. Works well sitting in my recliner. I quite enjoy that stand. And I would not put everything on a scroll frame. But if I want to use this Nerd scroll frame, of course that won't go on the floor stand that I have. I certainly couldn't put that on this mini Patoki and sit at a table with it. I certainly am not going to try and hold it. And yes, I did do a video about taking a piece of ribbon and putting it around your neck and putting it onto the corners of the frame and holding it that way. But I don't know that I'd want to do that over long stitching sessions. So, you know, I may bite the bullet and invest. I have not decided yet, but I would like opinions on if any of you have it and what you think of it before I so instead of my reviewing, could some of you review it for me? You know, that's what's great about this community. We can all share information about different products that are out there. Before we buy something. So yeah, like I said, I would be interested in hearing what people think about it. And now, while we're on the subject of stands, also brings about something else I found out and now is available. Before, when I looked for this, I could not, well, they didn't have any. Those of you who have the Nurge sit-on stand or their table/floor stand, okay, like I have, because I have both of them. And it has that plastic head on it that only holds a hoop. You can't put a Q-snap on it. You can only use various hoops on it. Well, my dear people, there is now, or I have found out about, a part that can be put on so that you can use a hoop, a Q-snap, which also I don't have it yet. It's being shipped. I don't have it yet, but it also makes me wonder if it couldn't be used for a small scroll frame. Oh, okay, I have it. Oh no, I can't show it to you. It's on my phone, and my phone's my camera. But if you go to mybobbin.com, and that's the Russian site that a lot of floss tubers talk about, mybobbin.com. Look under Notions, and there is a clamp under there. I believe it's called a BOS clamp. That will fit onto your Nurge stand. What you have to do is take that plastic head that's on there, you take that off, put this on in place of it, and then you can use hoops or Q-snaps. And like I said, I'm wondering if you could even maybe use a small, not a large, but a small scroll frame. Now, I do not have it yet. When I get it, I will include it in a video for you all to see, because as I'm sitting here talking about it, I'm wondering which way you have to flip it to get to the back of your work. So that remains a question. However, the fact remains you will be able to use your Nurge stand then for a Q-snap. So we'll look at that once that gets here. So it may be a couple weeks till it gets here. It depends on how fast their shipping is to the United States. You know, one can only guess. And then when it gets here, how long does it sit in customs? Number one. Number two, how long does it take for the post office to deliver it? Because it seems like my things take the scenic route or go on a vacation before they get to me. Things, Harrisburg, of course, is the capital of Pennsylvania. That's where our main distribution is. I mean, everything that I say, I'm mailing a letter to I'm mailing it from home. It's going to the same town I live in. Well, first it goes to Harrisburg and then it comes back here. So there are times when my mail or package goes to Harrisburg, but instead of coming here, I've had one that went to Maine and then came back. So sometimes my mail seems to take a vacation before it comes to me. So we shall see. When it gets here, I will include it in a video so that you can all see how it works for those of you who have gotten Nerd stands. I do like the Nerd stand. Yeah, I do like it. I don't have a problem with it, other than the fact that it will only hold the food. And you have to sit on it. Sometimes that's a little uncomfortable on getting it positioned correctly. So, or positioned in a way that is comfortable to stitch. That's always my issue. Finding a comfortable way to stitch. I know I keep pushing this up because I lean front to mark off my chart. But this isn't too bad so far. Yeah, I don't have, I forget exactly what it started out as for the black, but I have only 6,400 left. So how many? I've only worked on black and I did 2341 stitches. So that's not too bad. Not too shabby. And I know it's not much to see watching me sit here just stitching black. Not much to see at all. I'm sorry about that. I will this week yet do a project update for you. Because I have worked on my Hardanger stitch along. I've worked on Fred. I think those are the only things I worked on this week. So it'll be a short one, but I'll do a quickie, unthread your needle, a quickie update video for you. I'm thinking more towards the end of the week. Today's Wednesday. Probably Friday. So, I think, where are we at here time-wise? About 40 minutes we've been on, so I think I will call this a day today and be back later this week with an update video. We'll see how that goes. And I hope all of you have a great rest of your week. And I'll give you a report on that Nerd clamp as soon as it gets here. If you guys can leave me some comments about the dubco stands, I would really, really appreciate that very much. So until next time, just remember, the only rules in cross stitch are the ones you set for yourself. See you next time. Bye-bye.